Well, welcome to the Fast Fives 2023 San Diego Comic-Con recap. We did say we were going to do a short video on everything that, some of the things that stood out for me on this San Diego Comic-Con. While some major studios and the strike at SAG and the Writers Union, those people decided to skip this year's festivities. It allowed the spotlight to shine on independent creators, giving them a platform to showcase their talent this year. Because you had the Artist Alley really brimming with a lot of people this year. Supposedly, people did make some money this year in Artist Alley. So we're not doing 5 stories today. We're going to give you a whole mess of things on here. So we're going to slow it down just a bit. Well, we got to pull a yellow flag. The caution's up. Just like in a race, you're going to pull that white flag out. Slow things down just a tad. We're not going to take too much of your time. And let's bring up the yellow flag edition of the Fast Five.
We are Venom.
14 around. Boyer into the wall. The caution comes out just before they get to the start-finish line.
Once again, don't forget to like this video, share it, and hopefully today's the day I earn your subscription. So let's get really into this. Even though the Big Guns wasn't out and Hall H was empty this year, but from those on the ground, Hollywood wasn't not missed so much. So let's look at some of the moments that stood out to me at San Diego Comic-Con. So let's start off. AMC did come to bear with gifts of trailers, but no major panels. With the announcement of a second season of Anne Rice's Interview with the Vampire with Sam Reed and Jacob Anderson, which is slated hopefully for 2024. I wasn't really into it. My wife saw some of it. She did enjoy it, but I don't expect too much on season 2 on there. I mean, it's nothing like the original, but nothing's like reading Anne Rice itself, so I would always recommend read her stuff. Then, of course, what's AMC without The Walking Dead?
I said, knock knock.
As Fear is coming to a close, more spin-offs are on the way, including a second season of Dead City, which was just announced. And, of course, the return of Rick Grimes and Michonne in their own series, which is being called The One Who Lives. And of course, we can't leave out the fan favorite, Daryl, as he travels to France in his own standalone series, simply just called Daryl Dixon. Get on that. And you wonder, will there be a lot of catacomb walkers? Because you gotta remember, France is full on there, and from the trailers, well, they're headed toward monasteries on there, because you see that in the trailer itself. We'll have to wait and see on that. Next, even though Adult Swim canceled most of their events, they still had a lot to show, including the long-awaited Junto Ito miniseries Uzumaki, as new footage has been shown. Even though it looks great, we're waiting for it. No release date has been given. When will we be getting this? Because everyone is still waiting. It looks great. I mean, you're looking at it, and the story, some people have read the story, and they said they can't wait to see it on a screen. Meanwhile, while over at Rick and Morty, as we wait for season 7, season 8 has been written, and 9 is also in the works as well, even though we have a strike going on. And we did get a sneak peek at the Rick and Morty anime, which was kind of trippy. Which will be coming soon as well. But speaking of anime, coming also soon from Mappa Studios and we discussed this on the last Fast Five, the Lazarus series has also got a trailer at Comic-Con as well. And we can't also forget that Fooly Cooly has a new series as well coming very soon to Adult Swim and Toonami. Well, of course, you can't forget Amazon, even though Amazon hasn't been doing well. But the Invincible series is returning for another powerful season on Prime. And we're getting sort of an origin story, sort of like a mini movie prior to the new season of Invincible. It is the sort of the Adam Eve origin that we'll get to see. That's going to be coming out as well. And expect the spin-off for The Boys to come out soon as well, Gen V, which is expected around September. And, you know, as far as gaming, you expect to play characters from Invincible, The Boys, and along with Peacemaker on the new Mortal Kombat game. And speaking of games, expect an Expanse Telltale game this week on the 27th, while Marvel Spider-Man returns with Miles Morales, and coming along for the ride will be Kraven the Hunter, and Venom himself who's being voiced by Candyman, Tony Todd, and expect that for Halloween. But meanwhile, these two things stood out to me the most at San Diego Comic-Con. There was a panel tribute to the Power Rangers actor David Frank, who took his life back in late 2022. Some of Jason's family and friends was in attendance. There was a trailer shown of the last feature that he filmed, Legend of the White Dragon. This was crowdfunded and it looks amazing, you know, to boot. You know, this is something that I'm glad at least we'll be able to get to see, and expect that out in 2024. And even before the strike, movies and shows from the East have been flooding into the West. And on the heels of the success of RRR, the movie, and its upcoming sequel, India plans to hit sci-fi fans with an epic film called Project K, or Kalik 2898, which had a fantastic panel at Comic-Con on for the fans out there. Trailer, if the look of the trailer is anything what, you know, is expected from this movie, this is going to bring back, you know, what sci-fi fans been wanting for a long time on there. So expect the arrival first thing the new year 2024. But as the white flag switches to green and we hit the last lap, I just want to close with this. There was some good panels out there, and one that of the standard panels that stood out was the Chris Gore panel with Eric July, Gary from Nerdrotic on there. And I just want to bring up, you know, a lot of us independent creators out there, we've been doing this for quite some time now, and we're getting slammed even more and more often. There was an article recently, Rolling Stone, that basically SAG, you know, wants us to avoid all these connections we have with Hollywood, and join them with the strike and everything like that. Because they don't really care. They just only care for themselves within. And when you see someone like Eric July, who's being very successful at what he's doing, he's over $2 million on this crowdfunding program on ISOM 2. You get guys from the comic book industry slamming him online and basically telling him, you know, you're this, you're that, you're istaphobe, that phobe on there. But I gotta ask, you know, and the same thing with the actors, the Hollywood studios. What have you done for me lately? You know, this is the thing that you have to understand, is that those SAG actors that didn't show up, those writers that didn't show up, those comic book artists that didn't show up to San Diego Comic-Con, you did wrong by the fans. The fans are not the studios. If you have a problem with the studios, that's fine and dandy. That's your protest, that's your strike. But it's your fans that are there, that buy your wares, they pay for tickets to your movies. This is why in the last several years, and now I'd have to say over a decade now, we can say that your movies, your shows have been pure garbage. This is why we're here in the iron. We're calling it the Iron Age, the rise of the independent media, the independent content producers out there, that they're doing very well. And you guys want to politicize them, chastise them, calling them Nazis and all this, but all in all, they're entertaining people. That's what you've lost. Lately, I've seen people watching Casablanca. They're giving reactions to the movie Casablanca. That's a good thing. And the thing about it is, they ain't criticizing it. They're enjoying the movie. And when you make something that people can enjoy, they will always come back. Some will pay multiple times to see it in a movie theater if it's great on a big screen. I think that's what you're missing out, is that the fans are your customers, not these political hacks that say that they are your fans, that you should change this, that, you should have, this rule, that rule. Get them the hell out of here, because that's the Hays Code all over again. I've called it before. So we've come into the last lap. We got the checkered flag. Thank you for tuning in to this edition of, this extra edition of the Fast Five. Don't forget to share this video, hit the like, and hopefully today's the day I've earned your subscription. So until next Monday, thank you for tuning in, and hey, support the independent creator out there, folks, because those are the ones that are giving what you, the viewer, wants. Until next time, so long.